Good afternoon and happy Wednesday. Welcome to another episode of Industry Chats by Affixify. Okay, I'm very excited for our guest today. So I have Steve Carran, who is the host and the head writer of none other than The Modern Hotelier. Steve, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Jasmine.
Oh my
Excited to be
gosh.
here.
Oh no. So what's really funny, it's we're 20 minutes late to
Yeah.
start. Do you know why? Because we just did our own like off-show podcast just talking. We had so much to chat about. So I am really excited to have you on and very honored because you're like the pro podcaster.
I
So
don't know about that, but I appreciate you having me. I have been a fan of this podcast for a minute, so it's an honor to be
oh.
here. You're over 50 episodes, which the average podcast doesn't make it past 5.
Oh
So you're
really?
10x or 11x over that already. So kudos to you.
No, I just learned something. Well, I think, and I'm gonna check that you're my 55th guest, so I'll let you know.
There we go.
That is a celebration. But yeah, okay, so if you're in hospitality, you do not need an intro to Steve because you probably already listen to him and David's show all the time. But Steve, in the off chance someone comes across this and they're like, "What's Modern Hotelier?" or "Who is Steve?" Like again, very very unusual. Tell us a little bit about you. You just became a dad. That
Yeah.
is so exciting. And tell us about Modern Hotelier.
Yeah, yeah. So, my name is Steve Carran, host of the Modern Hotelier. My background is in hotel technology. I sold PMSs for 7 years or so. And that's almost how I got into podcasting. David was a advisor for one of our companies I was working with. I
Yeah.
was running head of sales, and we started a podcast as a marketing arm. And it became the Modern Hotelier. So the idea of the Modern Hotelier was we just saw so many people online and on
Yeah.
LinkedIn, and we didn't know who they were. We know they're pitching their product and talking about their company, but like as a human being, we
Who
didn't
are
really
they?
know. So we
Mm,
wanted to just get to know people in hospitality. So we get to know them, their background,
mm.
and then also on the podcast we talk about industry thoughts and things like that. So it's been a ton of fun to grow the podcast. This is our 5th season. We've done
Wow.
over 275 episodes now.
Wow.
So we're almost at 300, which
Amazing.
we're excited about. And then we also have Modern Hotelier Media focusing on video production at events for hotels and also for tech vendors if they want us to record their hotels for testimonials or things like that. So the media side's mostly focused on video as well. So it's been a fun
Awesome.
ride. We've been doing this full time for 2 years now. So never thought I'd be a
Wow.
podcaster or media guy, but here we are.
Which is so funny that you, so I think I knew you were a PMS salesperson, but I'm also kind of like,
Yeah.
who would have known? I'm glad you broke out of that into what you're doing. I sold PMS. Fun
No,
fact, it is so hard.
so
It
hard.
is so
It's
hard. I started Affixify to help people find PMS. That was our very first vision, was just to navigate like, why is this so hard? And so the fact that you understand.
I
But
I wish
yeah,
Affixify would have been around when I was selling PMSs. I'll say that. You guys do a great job at
thank you.
matching up the technologies with other technologies and hotels as well. So
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
tough industry, but I loved it. It really kind of acclimated me with the rest of the technology space
Mm,
because you not
mhm.
only have to know the PMS, but all the integrations that go with it. So,
Yes.
kind of looking back at the journey, it was a perfect product for me to sell to really dive into technology
Yep.
and independent hospitality.
Good for you. Well, and I think most vendors should be, well, most of them are working with you guys at this point, but it is so important to have that media play. And we all like obviously we both know this, but the differentiation right now is so hard because
Oh yeah.
everybody is just in your face. So what I like about what you guys do, because I'll walk by you at High Tech or the hospitality show, and you're like really sitting down talking to, you said it, like the person. So
Mhm.
it's not just a marketing play and a bunch of fluff. Like it's like, let's actually talk to the person themselves, hear the story of the company. And I think that's why you guys is would you agree like why you have such a big following, because you get a little deeper than just a quick pitch.
Yeah, I think so. And we like personalization has become such a ginormous buzzword in hospitality, and we kind of got lucky because that's what we focused on. So,
Yeah.
David, he is, has been in hospitality. He was a GM in New York. He's been the
Yeah.
CEO of multiple tech companies. So he's actually the one that came up with that format, and I can't thank him enough. I think it's been our bread and butter, and people like to know who they're working with too. Like
Yeah.
you wanna know who your partners are, especially if you're investing money in their technology. You wanna know who they are and that they're gonna be around for a while and not disappear in a year or two.
Yeah. Yes. Well, and I mean, I was actually honored to do this. I think it's been like 2 years ago, but you guys did an episode where I came on and the 3 of us went
Yeah,
through like industry headlines.
yeah.
I was very nervous for that. But I like that you guys also are kind of bringing that into like what's going on. Like, are you still doing that episode? Like the headlines?
Yeah, so it's called Hospitality Hot Topics. It's at the end of every month, and we talk
Okay.
about what's going on in hospitality that month.
Yeah.
This last one we had on Bashar Wali, and if
Oh,
you know Bashar, he
I
is
mean,
so much fun to talk to, and his insight's incredible. So,
yeah.
hearing him talk about what's happening in travel, hospitality,
Yeah.
things are getting more expensive, where trends are going, what types of hotels we're gonna see. So they're really fun shows, and it also keeps me sharp on what's going on in hospitality as well. We do
Yeah.
research for all the episodes. We don't, just go off the whim or anything like that. So everything's researched beforehand. So,
Yeah.
keeps me on my
Yeah.
toes.
It's good. I mean, you really have a hand kind of in everything. And okay, so we decided in the pre-show, we're like, we might go off script here. We don't know.
Yeah.
We might
I,
talk about guest experience. We might not. But I would love to hear like, okay, I have to ask about AI, which is funny because I did a post this morning kind of
I
anti-AI.
saw
So
this
it wasn't anti-AI like in our industry, more just like on the personal side. Cause like I
for
said,
sure.
I really liked this girl's message and I went to find her and I'm like, I want to listen to her show. And then I found out she was an AI influencer and I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
okay, that is not okay. I don't feel good about that. But I
No.
want to know, like, you're obviously going to hear a ton about AI right now. Like, what's your take on it? Both, maybe you even say the personal side, like, how do you feel about it? And then
Yeah.
in our industry, like, it's a big deal. I feel like we can't not talk about it.
Agree. So personally, I
Yeah.
am kind of a technology forward person. I always like the newest technologies. I like to stay
Yeah.
ahead of the curve personally.
Yeah.
Um, but personally, getting a little AI'd out, to be honest with you. Like
Yes.
everybody for a while had like AR AI pictures, and like Bashar came on our podcast and was talking about just like people aren't humans anymore. It
Yep.
is every post I see is AI, and
Yes.
it's like I can see all the emojis, I see the dashes, and I'm like, this is all AI. And to Bashar was talking about just how we've lost our personalization on LinkedIn, and
Yeah.
it's not like there's
It's
no
so true.
conversations anymore. It's just like I don't know. I feel like almost what some hotels do is just copy and paste for design purposes as well. It's like almost the same thing with AI. So I don't know. Personally, a little bit AI'd out with just people
Same.
using it all the time. I'd love
Right.
to hear actual people's thoughts on LinkedIn, like Bashar brought up, and things like that. But professionally, in hospitality, I'm excited. I I
Good.
know people are worried about AI replacing jobs. Hospitality has had a labor shortage for
Yeah.
years and years
Yep.
and years, and it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I recently called a Michelin key hotel,
Okay.
and like I I I grew up cold calling. That's just how I do things. And I called a hotel, and I was on hold for 8 minutes.
Oh
8 minutes.
no.
Never didn't even get an answer. I immediately got picked up, put on hold for 8 minutes, and
And they
I was
didn't know you were cold calling, like, they
no.
just
No. So
no.
so I was sitting there and I'm like, this is a perfect use case for AI. There are AI tools out there right now that can pick up the phone, kind of dictate what
Jeez,
you're
yeah.
looking for, answer those
Yeah.
questions, and now they sound like real people. You can tell them if you want to sound like, somebody from Wisconsin who has a goofy accent that, like myself, you can have your AI
Yeah.
sound like that. So I think there's a lot of cool use cases for
Yeah.
AI to replace these mundane tasks that hoteliers are doing. on a daily basis that take away from the guest experience,
Yeah.
where we can kind of speed up those processes where they can focus more on the guest experience. So I
Yeah.
think we're finally seeing some companies kind of come out that are doing a
Yeah.
really good job with AI. But um, personally, I want to hear more from people.
I feel that. I feel like we're very aligned in that. So we just added a vendor called Eva, EVHA AI, and I met them.
Ava,
Are you
yeah,
Ava?
know
Okay,
them. I'm
you're
very
familiar.
familiar with them. Yeah,
Okay,
Ryan
so
is the CEO there.
yeah,
They were
so
on our podcast. They're great.
oh, well then mutual customer.
Yeah,
So I think it's Jeff is their
yeah,
CRO. So I met him at a networking event a couple weeks ago, and instead of like having people do a demo, you probably already know this, they just hand you like a phone and you just
yep,
listen. And then it sells itself because you're like, well, this is so smart. And what I like about that is in your use case, I mean, for me, I hate like I'm a normal human, but maybe even more. I hate waiting, right? I'm not gonna
100%.
wait. And so that to me, and I mentioned them even in my post today, that's a really good use case because it's
100%.
solving a problem where I struggle is like, okay, so people come to us and they're like, what do you have for AI in Affixify's marketplace? And I'm like, why don't we actually start with what are you trying to solve? And if it happens to be an AI tool, that's awesome. But
Hmm.
if it's not an AI tool, like what I fear is people are going to stop even entertaining
Yeah,
something that doesn't have AI in the domain. Um, we
totally.
were like, this is a tangent, but we were told, oh, you should do Affixify.ai. And I'm like, well, but we're not AI. And they were like, well, you have the algorithm, like it could, this person was like, it could count. I'm like, but we're not. And no, it doesn't.
Yeah,
Like, I'm not gonna
yeah,
be dishonest, you know, but
for sure.
that's like the thing right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
No, I agree with you. And there's a company that I actually really like right now. It's called Oli, OLI.
Hmm.
And
Ollie.
Greg was on our podcast, and we actually use this technology on our website. It kind of looks like a chatbot, but it's so much better. You build your profile, you build
I
questions
know.
for it. So like
Yes.
we have actually got inbound sales leads from Ali being on our website of people who want to advertise on our podcast. And it's like actually
Wow.
uses logic, and it feels like you're talking to a real person. If you want to check it out, go to modernhotelier.com and just play around
Yes.
with it. It's super fun. And I'll be able to see
Ooh.
what you all said to it as well. So no,
Uh, yeah. You know
so like
what?
stuff like that is awesome.
We talked to them because now that I'm thinking about this, Stephanie talked to them and they mentioned you. This totally rings a bell now.
Yeah,
When I hear Ollie, there's like a vitamin brand for kids. So like my mom brain goes into that. But yes, no, like that is so smart because
yeah,
you're actually seeing a return on that.
for sure.
So
And it's asking
amazing.
like qualified questions. And like we've all used those chat bots. We're using it and been like, hey, it's not a real person. And like, I am not getting anywhere with this. And you get
Yes.
frustrated, just leave the website and you're like, I'm
Yeah.
not going to deal with that. So
Yeah.
I've really liked Ollie so far, and that's one of those cool AI agents where if you do go to a hotel, you want to find out what time breakfast is, what amenities they
Yeah.
have, if they're pet friendly, like all those things. Ollie
Yeah.
just kind of helps with that, which I love.
I love it. Well, I think if I am that person that'll be like customer service, like I won't even answer their questions because I'm like, I just want to get to the real person. But
Yeah,
in that scenario, that's really smart, especially if you do have like kids and you're like, I need to know right now. This is like, I need to know when the pool opens or I need to know what time breakfast is because we're, in a time crunch. Or
yeah.
maybe in your case, new baby, maybe you're like, I need a crib in the room or whatever, you know?
I need some white
Uh,
noise.
oh my gosh, the white noise. Have you gotten into like the blackout curtains too, where the room is all dark and
So we do have blackout curtains. We don't use them much, to be honest with you. Like,
really?
yeah, maybe I'm dropping the ball on this one. So if I should be using blackout curtains, you gotta let me know. Okay, so we'll start using
It,
blackout curtains.
I
We'll
mean, yeah, yeah.
so, but yes, white noise is like my best friend these days.
Oh
So
my gosh, white noise. Well, and it sounds like you have a good little sleeper, but
she is.
and this is not an ad for anything. No one sponsors us to talk about baby gear, but there's these like suction cup blackout curtains so you can travel with them. So
No
I'll send
kidding.
you the link. And so they're literally like they fold up and then you can suction cup them to any window and it makes it pitch black and then you get your white noise and then you actually can get some sleep on the road. So you wouldn't think that I had 3 kids or anything, but
Yeah.
yes, hot
Well,
tip.
this is good to know. Our first trip is gonna be in September to Washington, DC.
Oh, okay.
Uh, we are partnering with Destination AI, so,
Nice.
in-laws are in Washington, DC, so we'll make sure to buy them before we make that trip.
Sending you the link. I love it.
Beautiful.
Destination AI, tell me what you guys are gonna do there.
I don't know if we can
Oh,
actually
you
talk
can't.
about
Okay.
it,
Okay, that's okay.
but, Modern Hotelier Media and Modern Hotelier, are both gonna be doing stuff there. We're gonna be doing video content. We're going to be,
Amazing.
David and I are both gonna be involved, but that announcement is coming soon, but we're excited to see everybody at Destination AI. First time going to this event.
Oh,
I love it. I
amazing.
I lived in DC for 8 years, love the city, so it's gonna be kinda fun to go to my third home now,
Oh,
and, be part of this event. We've heard nothing but good things so far, so it'll be great.
oh, okay. Well, we got a teaser. That's exciting.
Yeah,
You guys are like, you really are everywhere. I'm not just saying that to be nice. I feel like, in fact, I went to your page yesterday because I was looking and you're like, how many followers? Over 10,000.
over I think 12,000
Well, okay. Yeah.
is our LinkedIn
That's
somewhere around there,
amazing.
12, 13.
Okay.
So, yeah, we're
Okay.
getting there. We're
You're
getting there.
getting there. What do you think about like podcasting and hospitality? Like, okay, so we're veering away from totally from our topic today, but
It's okay.
how has that been? Like going from selling tech, which
Mhm.
you and I both have that background, to now you're talking to vendor. I mean, I don't know. What is that like?
And it's changed since we got into it. When we got into it, there were
Yeah.
not many podcasters out there. Like, I always give props to Glenn Houseman. I call him the
Yeah. Yeah.
podfather, because he's really the one that started podcasting in hospitality, and, paved the trail for us, but it's changed so much since we've got into it, like, there wasn't much around podcasts. There was, like, people knew what
Yeah.
podcasting was and stuff like that, but now if you go to Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, they all have podcasts. These big companies, so like Netflix, MG Kit or Pete Davidson has a podcast on
Oh,
Netflix. The Kelsey brothers are on Amazon. So
yeah. Yeah.
there's like these big corporations have invested
Yes.
billions of dollars into the podcast industry, and it's only elevated podcasts in general. So
Right.
I don't know if like hospitality moves a little slower and
Yes.
adapting to kind of new trends and things like that, which I love. Well, sometimes. But I think we're fine. People are finally understanding like
Yeah.
podcasts and video content really affect not only the bottom line, but also
Right.
are such a huge driver in marketing.
Right. Yeah.
We did video content for a hotel and we partnered with a company called Hover,
Yeah.
which they're awesome, and their product is one of the coolest I've seen. If you're not familiar, you hover your mouse over a picture and then a video pops up. So we partnered with them with Hotel Polaris. So
Oh,
if you go to
nice.
that website, you'll see anytime you hover over an image, a video pops up from the video content we did with them. In 1 month, it drove 200 our video content on their website drove $239,000 in 1 month.
What? Just because okay, so I know what Hover does. I actually knew aren't they on your website too?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. How did that happen? Like someone just sees the video and then it takes them to a call to action directly to like a booking page?
Yeah, so well, like the web the instead of just looking at rooms, like whenever I look at rooms, the amenities are pretty much the same, but the square
Yeah, it's
footage is different.
yeah,
So, and you don't see that in an image of a
no.
bed and a window. So,
Right.
I think it's helped get a more visual aspect of the hotel where you can actually see the full hotel. But where they saw a lot of engagement was with their spa services.
Oh,
We did video for that hotel and they were like selling out their spa. We post on YouTube and all video all visual areas. But people were calling the spa and they were selling out because people are like, I saw this video of your spa. How do I get an appointment? And so it was great experience, but it was really eye-opening for us
wow.
because I don't think we even knew how powerful
Yeah,
video content is for
yeah.
hotels on their website. And this was like one of those experiences where you're like, holy cow, like this is huge,
Wow.
like almost $250,000 in 30 days of influence
Okay.
revenue.
Have y'all done a case study on this? Like
Yeah,
where you've
so
okay,
we have a
okay,
case study. We partnered with Hover Hotel Polaris on it, on all the findings we found from just that one hotel using our video
insane.
content.
Every
So,
hotel should be calling you for this. Like, that is amazing.
I love
I
that
did
plug.
not know
I agree.
that. You're like, I obviously agree. What, okay, now that leads me to ask, because I think as entrepreneurs, we have to be upfront.
Yep.
So, have you, if you, I did not tell you I was going to ask this, so it's okay if you want to,
I told you I'm an open book,
I
so
know
I
you
love
did.
this
Has there been a moment in this journey of your 5 seasons where you're like, what are we actually doing? Like, are
all
we
the time,
really okay?
all the time, all the time,
I
all the
have
time.
it too, but you hear results like that, and it's like, well, tell us the background of this because I think when you go out of clearly I'm living it and Stephanie's living it, you and David, like you do have those moments where you're like, ooh, what are we doing? But then you see those results and it makes so much sense. So how do you get past that? Because we do have a lot of like startups that watch the show.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that you go into when you're running a startup, right? Like you
Yeah.
just kind of have this mentality of like, okay, first, like I think we have to see if this works, right?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think I have been doing this full time. We've been doing the podcast for 5 years. I've been doing this full time for 2 years.
Okay.
So I think that first year was all kind of proof of concept. Like,
Yeah.
can I live just being a podcaster? Like, is that
Yeah.
possible?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
there's just not a lot of people out there that
Right.
do that. And there's definitely not a lot of people who have kind of figured out the business side of podcasting. So I think that's been probably the most interesting part for us is like there's no business model of how to build a podcast in hospitality, a business from
No.
that. So it has been so much trial and error. And like sometimes I feel like I throw out the goofiest ideas. Like, thank goodness David is like a patient and understanding guy, because I'm sure some of the ideas I throw out, he's just like, who is this guy? But thank goodness he's a great business partner. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think it was just that first year was really trial and error of, hey, can we get
Yeah.
the podcast running? And then that next January, we launched the media company. So that what last year was kind of all a proof of concept. We launched like we had this idea the same day we launched a podcast was MTV Cribs for hotels,
I
pretty
love
much.
that, by the
So
way. I
then we
saw that.
launched hotel experience episodes for hotels, and that was all trial and error. Like, is this actually going to
Yeah.
work? And the way not only like, well, I guess the way hospitality has embraced us has been incredible. Like, um, the amount of like people come up to us and just say they appreciate, podcasts or videos. And that means so much to us because,
Yeah. Yeah.
all the behind the work that goes into creating a podcast. And it's not, it's
Yeah.
not the easiest thing we've ever done. But it's so rewarding.
I
And
love
I don't
that.
I don't know
Yeah.
if there was an exact moment where I was like, oh, this is it. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna be doing this for the next 10 years. It's more like, okay, this worked
It
now, or this
worked.
didn't work. This
Yeah.
didn't work, so we won't do that anymore. So it's been a lot of
No.
trial and error, a lot of patience, I think, from everybody, and just kind of seeing what works and what doesn't. And we've got lucky to just be embraced by hospitality, to be honest with you.
Oh, you guys are, I mean, it really is. I think what makes a difference from my perspective is like I had mentioned, I'll walk the show floor at High Tech or the hospitality show, and I just see you guys right there in person. You're personable. You guys recorded. I was on it actually, but like the stadium in 2024
Yeah,
when where were we, Charlotte? Like
Charlotte. Yeah,
you're there, you're up front, you're personable, people know you, you're not just guys behind a camera, you're actually doing things too in
yeah,
the industry. And I loved the cribs idea. I saw one or
so
two
fun.
of those when you guys first started. Was it the hotel? There was one in San Antonio, right? That you guys did Contessa or
Yeah, Hotel Contessa. That was our pilot
oh my
where,
gosh.
man, that was interesting. We had a loose game plan, I'll say that. It turned out well, thankfully, that we were able to get more involved, but now we're a lot more buttoned up in the process. But yeah, that
I
one,
love it.
the pilot episodes are always interesting to film those
Yeah.
type of things.
I
So,
love it. Do you think you'd ever, maybe David's like, don't answer that, but like, would y'all expand outside? I mean, short-term rentals, there's multifamily, I mean, I don't know that senior living needs a podcast. I really don't
yeah.
know how that works, but like, where do you see this going? Or is it just, hey, we're hospitality and that is what we're doing? What's the vision?
I mean, so kind of what we're doing now, we're a lot US based. Europe has been our fastest growing market.
Oh, wow. That's
That's
amazing.
it has
Yeah.
been blowing up like crazy. So we're gonna be like a sneak peek here. We'll be doing a lot more stuff in Europe next year
Love
when I
that.
don't have
Okay.
a newborn at home and I can actually do
Yep.
some traveling. So like Europe is kind of next, but that is such a great question. I think we will dive more. Now we focus mostly on hotels, but
Yeah.
um, with hotels not only leaning into hyper local experiences, but being kind of the hub people are
Yeah.
traveling for experiences. I think we're gonna, restaurants. We'll be doing a lot more because we
Yes.
already work
Yep.
with restaurants and hotels. So like
Why
we kind of
not?
have that
Right.
background. Anything hospitality, I think we will do things with. We have a few things in the cooker that are new and different spaces. But I think hospitality anywhere,
Yeah.
which is a pretty
Yeah.
broad area.
It is.
So we'll, I
Yeah.
know like David and I are sports guys. Like we'd love to like I don't know, go to Madison Square Gardens and talk
Yeah.
about hospitality with the vendors and all that stuff. Like
Yeah.
anything there's
Yeah.
not much that's off the table. I'll say that.
Yeah.
So if anybody has any ideas
Uh,
or something they'd like to see,
yeah. Yeah.
let me know.
I mean, and you did say in the cooker, is that a pun? No pun intended for restaurants. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, sounds
Hey,
good.
no, actually, well, I mean, no one asked me, but I'm even thinking like if you did restaurants, kind of like you did cribs, diners, drive-ins, and dives. That's like one of my
Yeah,
favorite shows. You guys could do that kind of vibe with, oh, there's so many things you could do with
so many
your
things.
show and your audience. I love it.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'll give you 20 ideas so you can you can
Beautiful,
disregard.
beautiful. We'll do all of them. We'll do all
Do
of
it
them.
all. Do it all. Do it all. One last thing, and you kind of said this. I ask every guest, and you may not really have had it, but I always ask, like, what has been your aha moment in hospitality? And you've said a few things around, like, right, vendors, we know them, but we don't know them, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But have you had a moment like where you just something clicked in our industry of like, we need a better podcast because you guys are topping the charts, so you're doing something right, obviously.
And one of the things I think I'm a sales guy. Like my first, not my first job was
Yeah.
McDonald's when I was like 13, pretty and a Strawberry Patch. I think there were labor laws against that
Ah.
that I worked around, but like I've been in sales since I was 18. I started selling
Yeah.
Cutco knives back in the day. So like
Oh,
my
nice.
background is sales. I'm
Yeah.
a sales guy
Yeah.
through and through.
Same.
I think there was a moment where we did a few podcasts and it was kind of consistently people were reaching out to us and been like, "Hey, I got
Yeah.
sales leads from coming on your podcast."
Amazing.
We had one company on, it was a one woman company. And she got like 4 sales leads in 2 weeks. And then she
What?
called me the 3rd week and she's like, "Yo, I don't know if you know your reach. I just got a sales lead in Dubai from your podcast."
What?
And I'm like, "That is so cool."
Okay, that's amazing.
And we brought up, I, I, I should say this, but we brought up a few people who have actually got sales leads from us in this conversation. But like people, one company, the a leader in a hotel group was listening
Yeah.
to our podcast on a run. We were talking about AI. He heard the AI. He stopped his run and he talked to that CEO, piloted in a few of their properties, and now they're in all of them.
Oh,
So I
stop.
think
That's amazing.
those are the things that really excite me. Like, we're not just doing a podcast to do a podcast. Like, we
Yeah.
want the people on the podcast to get real ROI. Everybody that
Right.
comes on gets their content package that they can continue the momentum. And I think that's
Yeah.
kind of been it. Like the success stories that I
Yeah.
hear. And that's what really gets me excited. Like, if
Yeah.
you come on our podcast, I know you're busy, you have a lot going on, you're gonna spend an hour with us. I want you to get some value out of it. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
been, I think, the
Amazing.
cool parts where people are
Yeah.
actually generating revenue from being on our podcast.
You really, I think you hit the nail on the head too of like you figured out the business side because that's what I mean, ultimately that's what that's what matters is are you moving the needle?
Right.
And so as a result, and I do think your background in sales makes a huge impact because you understand the value of we're going to spend this money, we're going to invest this
Right.
here. And you actually we have a couple comments. So my friend Kate, I'm sure you know Kate over at Event Temple.
Thanks, Kate.
Yeah, love that your aha moment has to do with helping others grow, speak volumes. I agree. I really do agree. And then we have another one that was just kind of a note here. But Steve, this is it's such a joy just to have you on, especially because I listen to you guys. So getting to
Appreciate
have you on
that.
as a guest is such an honor. Any like if I'm listening and I'm like, hey, I want to go on Modern Hotelier, right? Like
Yeah.
normally we have vendors on, so we would say go to Affixify. But seriously, if someone is interested and this has spoken to them, what would be their next step to jump in, kind of learn more?
Yeah. You can go to themodernhotelier.com. That is for our podcast side. And then we have modernhotelier.media, which is for
Okay.
our media side. We're going to probably combine those two websites sometime when we have time to breathe. But I'm active on LinkedIn. Shoot me a
Yeah.
message. I try to get to everybody. I don't want to say I do, but I'm pretty good on that. Or email me, Steve
Okay.
at themodernhotelier.com. My phone number is 920-382-7497. Shoot me a text as
Amazing.
well. Like I said, I'm an open book. I'm easy to get a hold of. Just one of those ways, and I will get back to you.
I love that. I love it. And do you guys have any more high tech openings for anybody wanting you to live record on the show? Or I mean
We
on the floor?
Yeah, so high tech is such a fun event for us. We only can do a certain number of podcasts, but we do have. I think we're about a third sold out
Okay.
right now, so we do have some spots available. We usually sell out about a month before,
Okay.
so now's
Okay,
the
we better
perfect time
hurry.
to reach out and chat.
I
So yeah,
love
and
it.
we're
Okay.
also doing something super fun this year, brand new, which I'm not trying to promote, but I'm just excited for
No,
this because I think
promote.
it's
I want to hear.
gonna be fun. We are partnering with Valencia Riverwalk,
Oh,
and we are
nice.
hosting a roundtable. It is I don't know if you've seen the Actors Roundtable, but it's gonna be myself,
Oh,
David,
nice.
and then
Yeah.
Anthony Melchiori
Yeah.
and Sarah Dandashi, us 4,
Oh, yeah.
and
She's a
then
good one.
she's great. She's
Yeah.
awesome. And then we have 4 guests on the podcast, so it's just more of a transparent,
Nice.
informal conversation about hospitality, and then you get dinner and networking after that as well. So that's kind of our
Amazing.
new thing we're trying, so I'm super excited about that as well. So,
Oh,
like I said, trying
okay.
new things, seeing what works.
Amazing. Is that like what you buy a ticket to the round table or how's that going to work?
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
you buy a ticket to be on the round table. Like I said, it's only 4 guests, so it's pretty a little smaller
Yeah.
group size of people that can do it. But then if you do that, you also have the option of bringing a
Nice.
guest or 2 with you to watch the round
Okay.
table, have dinner, do some networking, have
Great.
a fun night. I think it's the Tuesday of High Tech
Okay.
that we're doing it in San Antonio.
Okay.
So it'll be fun.
Well, good for you guys, and congratulations on the success of Modern Hotelier. It's fun to watch, and
Thank
it's exciting to see like where you guys are headed.
Yeah, and congrats on your podcast as well.
Oh,
Affixify is doing such fun things, and
thank you.
I gotta say, I'm gonna say it on air because I love what you guys do,
Thank you.
matching hoteliers to technology, and
Thank
you
you.
know, there is like hotel people are not meant to be experts in technology.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be experts in making you feel great. So, and that's what they
Yes.
do best. So, I love what you guys do.
Thank
Keep up the
you.
great work, and I
Thank
was
you.
honored to be on your podcast. It's fun to be on the other side of the mic for once.
I love it. No, I when I asked you, I was like, "Oh my gosh, he actually said yes." Just it was
Of
just such
course.
an honor. So, you are awesome. Thank you so much, Steve, for joining
Thank you,
us.
Jasmine.
We'll have to do this again. And for those listening, we will be back next week. We have Lavelle Casiero coming on to
Ooh.
join me. Yeah,
She's
she's been
great.
on. She's the best. I know. I love
So
her.
awesome.
I'm very blessed to have her as a personal friend, but also a professional friend. And so, yeah, we're going to dive into some strategy things next week. And so we will be back. And with that, Steve, thank you for joining us, and we'll see everybody next week.
Thank you so much. Have a
Bye,
good week.
everybody.